I talk about my puppy a lot. I figure it's time I start talking about my horses. So, I love my horses. They're great. Something I've learned about the barn, though, is no matter how much time I spend at the barn, I'm always going to come home smelling like horse. And I thought it was funny because as I was getting ready for work this morning, I was putting perfume on because I knew I was going to go see the horse. And I realized there's no amount of perfume that can cover up the smell of horse. And then I also realized another thing that I can spray as much perfume on me as I want, but by the end of the day, I won't smell like the perfume. It just wears off. But I can go out to the barn for 5 minutes. I don't even have to touch my horse. I just put grain in her bucket and I leave, and I'm gonna smell like horse the rest of the day. And that led me to two interesting thoughts. One is the perfume is something like I physically spray on myself, right? Like I'm trying to do it myself. When I go out to the horses, when I go out to the barn, like I'm not trying to smell like horse. I mean, I don't mind the smell. When I go to the barn, I'm not trying to smell like horses. When I put perfume on, I'm trying to smell good. When I try to do it in my own strength, it doesn't last. But when I'm doing something that's not in my own strength, it does last. And I just thought that's kind of like our time with God. Like when I try to do things for myself, it might work for a little bit, but then it's not going to work out really. It just kind of fades away. But when I'm spending time with God, like God just kind of infuses himself on us. I don't even know if that's the right word, but like going to the barn, horse just smells out of me, right? So like when we're spending time with God, he will smell out of us. You know, people will be around us, they're going to know we've spent time with God. They're going to know that we've been in the presence of God kind of thing, you know? Not as uptight. There's a different level of peace, or like they just see Jesus in us, whether they recognize it as Jesus or not. So, yeah, that was just a fun thought I had leaving the barn today of like, are we spending enough time with God that we smell like him? Like, do people see God in us because we're spending time with him? Or are we trying to do things too much our own way and people don't really recognize whether or not we're doing it our own way?